Not so sunny Bognor Regis this morning.
You can just about see the other side of the road, but don't worry about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Simon here from the Cine Film Factory, come over to hook up with Alan Taylor again. Nice to see you, Alan.
Thank you. Nice to come over.
Today we are going to have a chat about film.
Yes, funny stuff.
Yeah, lots of film. So the people who are watching this have obviously got a lot of interest in different gauges of film. Mm-hmm. So we've got 9.5, we've got some 8mm, some 16mm and some 35mm to talk about. But firstly, just want to kick off with this Kodachrome 2 film, which I recently just had into the studio. I don't see so much of this anymore. No. So I brought it over to Alan. We're going to have a bit of a laugh and a chat about this film. It comes in a little tin, so if you've got anything like this kicking around, then hopefully this will answer some questions. And obviously, the deeper knowledge on the physical film from Alan would be pretty useful to people. So, well, I've opened it up out its tin. I'm going to hand it over to Alan.
Right. Okay. Well, first of all, this is 25 foot. What it is 16mm film, but with twice the amount of perforations. Now, in the old days, I had an Amara 8F camera, and what you would do is load this in the top spool, load it through the gate onto the bottom spool. You would then take half the film, 25 foot, which was around about 2 minutes, then wind it right away down to the bottom spool, open the camera, swap it over.
Yeah.
So it ended up on the reel it came on, this 25 foot reel. The double perforations there were then developed, and you would have two images, one going that way and one going that way. Then what they would do is split it, and it is literally split it apart.
So that's straight down the centre?
Straight down the centre, and you would end up with, well, that's Super 8, but you would end up with an 8mm film very similar to that one, although the sprocket holes are different.
So that iconically is the 8mm film that we know and love, that we find today to get transferred, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's, I know you do a heck of a lot of these because they are a format which, for its age, done pretty well. That was a Kodachrome 2. That was the later version of the standard 8mm double exposure film. Kodachrome 1 was the same one, but it wasn't as sensitive. I think this is 100 ASA, is it? Yeah, under
high speed.
High speed 100 ASA, whereas the original one, Kodachrome 1, was 50 ASA, so it was twice as slow. In other words, you need a lot more light to get a decent picture out of it. But there you go. That's the days of when, and you still find standard 8 cameras on eBay and things like that. They're still selling them.
They are still around.
Then we move on. If you compare that to the 16mm film, which is a standard stuff,
and just pause there for a second while we make this vlog and we talk about this. Kodak, obviously, with it being Kodachrome, being a Kodak film, we are still waiting to hear more information from Kodak about this new Super 8 digital camera, which is soon to come out, which apparently is logged up in R&D, research and development somewhere with argument and that. But,
and it's not cheap.
No,
I've heard prices of 300 to 400.
Absolutely, and I've also heard that the processing organisations such as Ferrania, who've in Italy, who've put their new processing lab on hold because they're now waiting to hear from Kodak as to whether they are going to go to development.
Well,
but anyway,
there'll be three things that will. One of it, obviously, is the format it's going to use. Is it going to be in a cassette? Is it going to be an open reel like the early version? It could be either. But the point is, it's the speed. Now, that Kodachrome 2 for its day, 100 ASA was quite fast. Compared to today, it's nowhere near, but the whole point is that for those it was, as I say, the 50 ASA one, which was Kodachrome 1, was very dense, and by now, give or take in the years, it's more like just gone black, because it was a very dense film. Comparing it to standard 16mm, you can see 16mm, same amount of holes, but or rather a hole each side, but a lot bigger and wider apart, whereas the standard 8 one, it was the same format, it's just it had a lot more perforations in it. That's all. And that's standard 16mm silent film. We won't go into the sound one because it's not worth it. But in between, the French, God bless them, they give us two things, didn't they? They give us 9.5, which is the world's worst format as far as I'm concerned.
With us, that's to identify for that. A 9.5mm film is the iconic. So that has the sprocket hole that always runs down the centre, the middle of the film.
Yeah, and of course, once the sprocket goes, the film's had it. But they give us two things. What do you think the other one was?
Garlic.
No. The SCART plug in the back of the telly.
Really?
Yes, that's the French version of our BNC. It's a horrible, cheap, nasty plug. Sorry, French. I'm not anti-French, I just don't like what they make. But anyway, going back to the film, that's 9.5 film. As you can see, you should be able to see pretty well that it's got holes in the middle. Very old format, started in the 1900s. Still about today, although they don't make films in it, but there were a lot of 9.5mm cameras where they had the forerunner of the cartridge version of that. And it was a 9.5 cartridge you used to just plug in the back of the camera. They were the first to do it. And it was Pathé who had a lot to do with that as well. Because although we see Pathé as a news thing, out in France it was a manufacturer, like Kodak or whatever.
Pathé News?
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't talk to me about Pathé News, it's a sore subject at the moment. Anyway, talk about film formats.
Just pausing on, just to pause and just highlight on top of what Alan was saying there about the 9.5mm film, and Alan's completely right, of course. You know, aesthetically, if the central sprocket hole is being pulled and damaged from playback and use with the metal cogs, the way it used to wind through, or disuse and play, we at the Cine Film Factory can still get round that issue. And the reason we, on our special transfer gate on our 9.5 unit, doesn't actually rely on sprocket hole cogs to push and pull the film.
But you will see a lot of flashing and damage. You will see it
on the outer edge.
No, in the middle. In the middle of the frame, you'll see it at the bottom and the top.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Because that would be yeah.
You will see the damage unless you go over it and then smooth it out on the edit. To blank it out.
Well, that's I mean, certainly we're in the right direction to be able to assist with any damaged sprocket holes.
Yeah. Well, remember this stuff's getting old. I mean, 40, 50, something's 60 years old by now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a miracle that we can, we're still obtaining the footage that we're getting.
Yeah.
And that is a miracle. It's right across the gauge.
9.5, because again on an age thing, is now coming to the age where it's starting to shrink. And it will do this whether it's used or not. It's just the age of the actual film itself, which is not acetate anyway. It's all safety film. And talk about safety film, then we come on to the big doodah of them all. Good old 35mm standard. That's a sound trailer, this one.
So for those who may not know, 35mm is the one that would have been used in the cinema projection.
It's still used in filmmaking. When they make films, they make it on this stuff. They transfer it to video because they can't rely on the video system. Yeah. That's their official attitude. I've been at Warner Brothers a little while ago and talking to these people. They will not use digital cameras. They'll use it for trailers or adverts, but they won't use it for mainstream film. That's why Avatar, which is a digital film, is actually on this stuff.
And that's and that's.
I wish I had the money to go and buy a million one. But that then is also. It's not only a bigger millimetre, it's also a Teflon coated film. And you could pull a car along with this.
Really?
If a film breaks, it's the joints, it's not the film.
So much strength in it, right.
Well, you can try and break it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the texture and the way that feels, it feels like it would more cut you rather than before it breaks. Yeah.
Yes. It's got me once or twice. But usually on the rewind bench, you've got to be a bit careful.
Yeah.
But the 35mm film, this was the standard for cinema for years. When cinema first started in the 1940s, you had what they call nitrate film, which I have some of, but I don't touch it because it's very dangerous. It could burst into flames there because of its age. But film format, as I say, in Simon's view, you get a lot of home movies. You get a lot, as I say, some on 16mm. It's not necessarily a 8, but it will be standard 8, which is the stuff that is coming of an age. It's just got to be copied before it's lost.
And do you know what? We hear people are so, just again drawing on what you were saying about nitrate film, people are so, I don't know whether it's misinformed, I don't know whether it is misinformed, I think it's just such an old format now, and people see these films, it's the biggest thing we get, we hear it so much, and it is laughable, but people don't know, and no one's to blame for that, it's just the way it is.
They think they can put it on pause and rewind it. Film does not work like that.
No, absolutely.
You put a film on, you watch it, it finishes. That's it.
Absolutely. And I mean, go back, to the nitrate thing again. People see film, and that's how uneducated people are. They see film, whether it be this stuff,
Any of these
8mm, 9.5, and so I think it's nitrate, because the people just don't know.
Nitrate was limited to the silent films, which is the 1860s onwards, and it kind of come to fruition about 1940. A lot of the classic films were made on nitrate negatives and nitrate prints. The good thing is, because they had the negs, they could recopy it onto safety film, which has been going on for donks. That's been going on for years and years and years, and they're still saving stuff because nitrate eventually just screws itself up and melts.
Yeah,
it's so dangerous. If I had any in my house here, I wouldn't be insured because nobody insures nitrate film. There is another format, or another base that they use, called acetate.
Yeah.
Now I've got a print of acetate film here, which is perfectly safe. It's that stuff you could glue together.
Really?
Yeah, because you'd use acetate. You just scrape the emulsion off and overlap it, and it will stick, and it stays like it. But of course, nobody uses that. I've been using tape splicers for donkeys, and so has everybody else. There is a professional splicing thing, which is an ultrasonic one, which is a marvellous bit of kit. I don't know how it works, to be honest with you, but you put the two films, you overlap the film, and it welds it.
Right.
Now that's what they use in the labs.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get a lab print back, and it'll have one of those joins in it. You think, wait a minute, how come it's got a joint in it? Well, obviously they've run out of whatever.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that has been our latest vlog.
Yeah, a little blog to say this stuff is around 16mm, which is a semi-professional gauge, was used for news films for many years. And
such a lovely medium, 16, isn't it? It's so indicative of it being that step up from the 8.
Yeah, a vast improvement on the 8.
Absolutely, but then will always be just below the 35. It's that mid-range, but good quality for a home user. We see so much 16. And it is so lovely. It's lovely, vivid colours. It's so strong. The audio's good.
Well, I mean, most of this 35mm stuff is Technicolor.
Yeah.
99% of it is Technicolor. In the days of when you had Kodak, Eastman colour, which is Kodak, and most of the prints that are made on that stuff are going red. Because it was made to get out to the cinema, run 30, 50 times, and then destroyed.
Yeah, the colour bleed. I mean, yeah, absolutely. We saw a job not too long ago. Such a shame. It was about oil rigs, and it was a pro. It'd been pro commissioned, pro film, and the rest of it running reds right the way through it. Colour bleed, in layman's terms.
Yeah, it's when the acid breaks down. It's an acid thing, where basically what happens to dye. And it all depends which way the film was printed, by the way. But normally, if it was
That's interesting.
Well, you know about the dye process, don't you?
Yeah, but do you know? You think that possibly a colour bleed could stem from the way it's been processed?
Yes, if
really?
It wasn't Well, remember, look, they used to get these things in the labs, rush them through, get them out the door, get them in the cinema, get them used, destroy them. They weren't made to last. They weren't made to be here.
No. Fair point. Yeah,
and certainly Kodak was a lot cheaper than Technicolor. A Technicolor print would be something in today's figures, it would be something like £600 per 100 metres.
Ooh,
yeah.
But
I mean, Kodak then would have been about £200 per 100 metres. You see,
the cheaper option.
And of course, it was made to go in the cinemas, be shown, passed around, done the circuit, destroyed. It wasn't meant to still be here.
Absolutely. Well, I think for this latest vlog, I think it's a wrap.
Yes, something like that.
It's a wrap.
Besides, my coffee's gone cold, so.
So this is our second vlog we've done. Hopefully, we found it. The viewer have found it of interest.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, to our channel, which is the Cine Film Factory.
Or you can find me on there as well, but my first name spelled Allen.
Alan Taylor. Legendary Alan Taylor.
Been called worse.
Absolutely.
Bye for now.
Bye.